Incompetence. Incompetence is really the watchword of this Tory government. But you've got absolutely, it boggles the mind. It really, really does. Especially with the whole track and trace fiasco that's currently going on. So for those of you who may not know, we'll give a quick rundown of what's going on. So recently, Serico's NHS track and trace system was essentially the system that was being using to track people. Now, of course, they didn't tell you what system this was. This wasn't a purpose-built system, or this wasn't a system designed to handle large amounts of data. Instead, they probably what we're going to hear here is that Serico decided to cut corners and just use Microsoft Excel. And not even the new version of Microsoft Excel, they used the 2007 version of Microsoft Excel. And it gets even worse, because this old version can only handle so many cells. Now, of course, what's happened? The number of cases has exceeded that number of cells, and that means that all data has essentially just been pushed off the chart to essentially just not exist anymore, which means that thousands of people who should have been contacted by track and trace were not, which has led to ultimately coronavirus and people who had the virus leading it to spread even more. So you can see this is an absolute, it's an absolute comedy of errors, and it would be funny if this wasn't, a deadly pandemic where people were dying. But there you go. So now we're going to ask the question: why on earth was Excel being used to store this data? And this is exactly what this article goes through. So this comes from politics.co.uk, and title is "Using Excel to Process COVID Infections Shows a Total Collapse of Incompetence." So, ever since the government announced their world-beating track and trace system, concerns have been raised over its ability to properly handle the masses of sensitive medical and location data involved. Now that we've reached the point of the inevitable blunder, caused not by a glitch in the system, but the complete mishandling of data, it has brought the entire arrangement into question, casting serious doubts over the privacy and security of personal information harvested by thousands of Brits every day. The incident, which we now know left around 16,000 COVID cases unreported, was caused by the use of a 13-year-old version of Excel. Yes, that Excel, the Microsoft Office default spreadsheet application used by mums and dads up and down the country to track their household budget. Microsoft Excel is a basic spreadsheet software that is only able to handle was it 1,480,576 rows of data. And that's if you've been using a version released after 2007. Public Health England, or PHSE, did not. Their version could only manage 56,000 rows of data. So, with more than 22,000 COVID cases being reported each day, your average GCSE math student could see where the problem could see this was going to be a big problem. And as we've just discussed, yeah. Excel is completely unsuitable for handling such a vast and critical data project, and this is because its spreadsheet software is not a database. Test and trace is inevitably a vast processing amount of population data, including sensitive health and location information. Public Health England simply picked the wrong tool for the job, and whether it was cutting corners or simply just ineptitude, I doubt we'll ever know. So why didn't the government intervene? A decent graduate level data scientist or even mid-level IT professional could have created a simple, rational database that would have been more appropriate than Excel. Alternatively, almost or any off-the-shelf business intelligence platform could have been used. These platforms are designed to handle big data and can scale to meet the needs of almost any project. Indeed, if PHE and central government's core systems and dashboards were up to date and fit for purpose, it would have been quite easy to integrate the data captured process into them from the outset. No .cs files or .xls files, just a web portal. This is 2020 after all. Their decision to rely on spreadsheets suggests technical incompetence of the highest order. It casts doubt over the entire system and the vast sums of taxpayer money invested in it. Health Secretary Matt Hancock admitted that so far only 51% of people affected by the error have actually been approached by contact tracers. And as a result, there are people walking around today that may have been exposed to the virus and have absolutely no idea. Those people could be passing COVID onto the most vulnerable in society, all thanks to the government and PPE and PHC's collective incompetence. The government claims that everything is now under control, apparently. So we can all rest at easy because the spreadsheet has now been broken down into multiple spreadsheets. This is hardly reassuring. It reveals a complete failure to understand the problem. Breaking down a single spreadsheet simply results in the creation of multiple ongoing issues rather than a solution to the first one. If the government and Public Health England choose to continue using Excel, there is no way to guarantee that we won't end up in the same situation further down the line. Instead, Public Health England needs to ensure that they are choosing the right tools for the job, or admit they just aren't up to the job. Now, of course, Public Health England now under the guise, so we say, control of D.O. Harding, but we now come to a very interesting situation of why on earth did someone choose Excel? This is what was said there. Whether it was just a complete lack of technical knowledge or just complete incompetence, we'll probably never know. Only people who actually made that decision will probably know. However, I highly suspect that this was a cost-saving maneuver. Microsoft Excel is free. The government, they've already got their license for it, so it's, quote, free, or they don't have to spend more money, because I think this is where it all went. But we really have to ask the question of why we've spent so much money trying to create the system and use that when other countries have done similar track and trace systems and have just done it so much easier and so much better. And I've said this before. Why on earth is it considered such a bad thing for the UK to look at things like, well, that works in Denmark, that works in the Netherlands, that really works in France, that works in Germany. Why might it not work in the UK? Just grab them and bring them over. These are the type of policies we could do within this country, and yet it's just seen as oh, we can't do that. We can't be bringing over these European ideas to the British shores or whatever. It's just complete nonsense. But yeah, honestly, and for this, words fail me. It really does, and I just agree there. It's just either an absolute lack of technical knowledge and understanding, or it was just complete incompetence. Or, as the third one I might have suggested, or I think it very, very well might be, is that Public Health England did want an actual proper database set up, but they went to obviously their minister, Matt Hancock, and Matt Hancock said, no, I'm not going to give you any money for it, use what you've already got available. And of course, now the track and trace system is not only just one Excel spreadsheet, it's multiple Excel spreadsheets. It really, really boggles the mind. It really does. But with that said, please do hit that like and share button. It really does help out the channel a lot. Also, if you are new, please do hit that subscribe button. We do talk about British politics and Brexit and the whole mess that is going on our island at the moment. And trust me, the roller coaster ride is only just beginning to heat up. So strap yourselves in. And also, if you would like to support the channel in another way, I do have a Patreon link as well as a one-off donation link, so if you'd like to support the channel that way. And thank you to all the people who do support the channel in that way. Your support is very much appreciated. So, with that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time.